Congratulations.
I,
May we start meeting?
I beg your.
Deepak, congratulations.
Thank you very much, but for what?
I know he does so many things. पूछना पड़ेगा क्या किस
Ne-
चीज
ne-
के
ne-
मुबारक दे
Acha,
रहे
acha, all right, thank you. I understand. All right, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, members, a very warm welcome. Good evening to all. I call the 1229th meeting to order. The four-way test may kindly be request our Rotarian Kusum Chandra to please kindly read it.
Yeah. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kusimji. Now coming to the birthdays, there are a lot of birthdays in December. 16th is Rotarian Vinod Bhardwaj, 18th Rotarian Brinda Singh, 18th again Rotarian Satish Kaura, 19th. There are three 19th birthdays on the 19th. Rotarian Alka Kaura, Rotarian Natasha Ranade, and Rotarian Sangeeta Zaveri. 27th, Rotarian Ramesh. 28th, Rotarian Reena Shah Stemets. 30th, Rotarian Gayatri Verma, Gauri Verma. And 31st December, Rotarian Kavita Vasudev. Anniversaries. We had two anniversaries today, 11th. Rotarian Hardeep and Brindas, and Pragyan and Mandakini Sharma, both on the 11th, and very, very happy wedding anniversary to both of them. On the 12th, it is Payal and Sunil Satyajit. On the 12th, again, Rotarian Jaideep and Kavita Vasudev. On the 14th of December, Rotarian Nand Kishore and Sangeeta Zaveri. And on the 14th, again, Rotarian Romit and Nandita Bose. Happy anniversary and happy birthday to all. In December, the Rotary information. It really pleased to share the members that two sets of for Srinivas Balwadi. We members had taken two sets of thermals, two pairs of socks, a sweater, an art book, a Domi art kit, and a goodie bag were distributed to the tiny tots of Srinivas Balwadi. They were so thrilled, they were so sweet how sweetly they stood in a line one by one, most patiently, and coming up one by one to receive their gifts. It really was a pleasure. God bless them. And and thanks to Rotarian Anita Bhardwaj, Deepika Mankatesh, Rotarian Kavita Sharma, and Manorma Gogia were all present there during the distribution. And many, many thanks for the members who contributed. Well, myself, by Rotarian Amita Ranade, Rotarian Amrita and Chiranjeev Uppal, Rotarian Anita Raj, Chiragyan Madhu Jain, Deepika Venkatesh, Rotarian Geeta Rameshji, Rotarian Jaswindran Nanu Puri, Rotarian Jyoti Dheer, Rotarian Kavita and Shalini Laroya, Rotarian Meena Sethi, Rotarian Monica Kumar, Rotarian Pragyan and Mandakini Sharma, Rotarian Sathi and Madhunanda, and Rotarian Sandeep and Gayatri Khanna, and Rotarian Sunita Devi. Sunita Trivedi. Many, many thanks to all of you for having made their Christmas. Really, I mean, it was a pleasure seeing them. And I had gone there, well, in fear of COVID, but still I wanted to see the little children. It was a pleasure. And then the vocational, our Singer Vocational Center at Majlis Park. I'm pleased to share with members that from the first the RCDGC Singer Vocational Center Majlis Parks, 23 ladies got registered. We hope that these ladies will enhance their talent from this sewing center and which will enable them to, to earn their livelihood. Which is, it's very, very encouraging and good to see the teacher from the single sewing machine is truly very, very dedicated. Not only that, she's doing a double job of even teaching them in Hindi how to cut, apart from showing them how to draft, even actually teaching, and spends a lot of time with them. Thanks to her, and I think we will progress more and more. And appeal for support to RILM is still continuing. And I don't know, I think it was out in the group that our Vice President, Lieutenant Deepak Mittalji, had contributed 5,000 kilos of rice, 5,000 kilos of atta, and 5,000 kilos of dal, besides tons of blankets and mattresses to the Langar Seva in Sangrur in Punjab. and handed it over to the Gurdwara Managing Committee. This is his self, always generous.
Evening. I'm on a
Okay.
Zoom call.
Now coming to the secretary's announcement, we only have on the 18th, we have this wonderful fellowship cultural evening. Please request all members to join. Our past president Rotarian Sunita Trivedi ji has taken a lot of pains, and it is going to be a fun evening. And I do suggest we should all wear red or green and bring in the Christmas spirit as well.
I did it today, 1 week earlier.
Okay, most important, today our own eminent and learned senior member, Dr. Kavita Sharma, with us, and we have the privilege of having her address us. I know you all may be knowing, but I still have to read her. This is most impressive. Dr. Kavita Sharma, an eminent scholar, and she's the former president of South Asian University, New Delhi from 2014 to 2019. She has taught at the Hindu College, Delhi University for about 37 years, out of which she has served as its principal for 10 years. She was the director of India International Center, New Delhi from 2008 to 2014. She has been a recipient of Indo-Canadian Shastri Fellowship twice, 91-92 and 2002-2003, dealing with different aspects of the diaspora. She has also been awarded the Fulbright Fellowship, New Century Scholar 2007-2008 for research on higher education in the 21st century, access and equity to higher education. She has several published books to her credit, including Windmills of the Mind in 2006, Queens of Mahabharata, again 2006, and Birds, Beasts, Men and Nature in Mahabharata in 2008. Internationalization of higher education and an aspect of India's foreign relations, 2008. 60 years of the University Grants Commission, established growth and evolution in 2013. Hindu College Delhi, a people's movement in 2014. National University of Educational Planning and Administration, a transformational journey, NUEPA in 2015. Perspectives on Indian education in 2017. Life is as is, teachings from the Mahabharata in 2018. Apart from that, she has edited several books and contributed also chapters in them. She has also contributed extensively to research, journals, participates regularly in seminars and conferences in India and abroad on subjects ranging from higher education, gender issues, Distvara, and Mahabharata. It's fantastic. Her profile is most impressive. Kavita ji, we welcome you, and over to you to share your thoughts with us.
Thank you very much. And thank you for that, for reading out that. I told you earlier today that I'm among friends and you don't need to, but you said, no, I must do it. So thank you so much for doing it. Now, and thank you for inviting me to not such a popular subject, I guess, because it's a little bit of a serious subject. And that is the new education policy 2020 is just out. And this is a national policy on education which has come after a long time. The last policy came in 1986. Of course, it's a very, very good document. The problem was implementation. We all write very good documents, but it is the implementation that we fall in. So we need a roadmap for implementation, and we need a proper timeline, and we need the political will to be able to implement this, because there's radical changes, and so there's bound to be a lot of resistance. The draft policy, it's voluminous, was about 500 pages, and the final culling out and the final policy is about 70 pages. So obviously I can't cover the whole thing, but I'll just bullet point a few things. School education has been completely restructured into 5+3+3+4. This is 5 plus 3. Instead of your 10 plus 2, it is 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. So the preparatory stage, this is according to the different age groups that the children are in. So it corresponds to the foundational stage, preparatory stage, middle stage, and secondary stage. Then the foundational stage is from 3 to 8 years. And for the first time, this is a welcome change. It takes the 3 years of preschool education. And this has been ignored earlier. So this is a welcome sign. And then it follows by classes 1 and 2. Also, it is also compulsory education has been moved up to 18 years from the earlier 14 years, which is also good because everybody realizes that at 14 years, you've just done class 8, which is not of much use in today's world. Now, it's also emphasis is on compulsory evaluation, which has a lot of problems because teachers need a lot of training and the class sizes will then have to come down. How the government is going to do this, I don't know. Exams, annual exams not to be held every year, only in classes 3, 5, 8, and then the board exams in classes 10 and 12. It is also supposed that instructions will be in mother tongue up to class 5 while teaching other languages, including English. Now, this again can create a bit of resistance because, as we know, there's a massive aspiration, whether they can fulfill it or not, that everybody wants to know English. So they will have to continue with they will have to do teaching of English up to class 5 together with instruction in mother tongue. Mother tongue can also be contentious, but we don't have time for all of that right now. So now the 3-language formula will be retained. And again, a radical shift, school education also to shift to semester system and credits. Now, which means that they want to do away with the idea of streams like science stream, humanities stream, and commerce stream. So it's like the Americans do. You can take whatever you want to take in the last 2 years of your education, and then according to the credits earned in particular subjects, you go into your undergraduate education. There is also emphasis on incubation and innovation. That is why, Suhinderji, I told you about the Atal Tinkering Labs, which unfortunately we haven't managed to go ahead further. Vocational training is to be a part of everybody's curriculum, and application-based courses must be done. Then another radical change is that there will be India-centric policy. So children have to learn about their heritage and know about Indian thinkers in various fields. They must also know their local history and not just their national history, which is a good thing because a lot of children don't know that among their own community, there have been heroes and that who have done a lot of sacrifice. ICT is emphasized, but again, this will be problematic. We know the issues with continued connectivity. We also know the issues with the digital divide. We are facing it already. The other, another good thing that they are trying to do is that it has been found that there are about 2 crore children who are out of school today. They are out of school because they've been thrown out of the system and there is no alternate system they can go to. And so they're trying to bring them into the educational fold by massive expansion of open learning. So now, again, this will require a lot. I mean, all this requires a hell of a lot of effort. And they want to set up a national mission for foundational literacy and numeracy, because we have found that children may go up to class 5 or class 6, but they still can't read or write or add or subtract even very simple things. So to ensure that everybody, when they reach class 5, has basic reading, writing, and mathematical skills. Now, a very contentious issue is the proposed setting up of special education zones in areas where there is a lot of underprivileged, like a lot of concentration of tribals, scheduled castes, minorities. So you want to put them into special education zones so that they can catch up with everybody else. I'm not sure about this because this can be very, very divisive. So these are some of the major changes in school education. And of course, for a different kind of a group, you can go into each one of these separately. But now coming to higher education. Higher education, again, they want to raise the gross enrollment ratio. Gross enrollment ratio means that everybody who can go to higher education will be able to have access to higher education. And right now, the gross enrollment ratio is 26.3, I think, and they want to raise it to 50% by 2035. Now, this will mean massive expansion, and for which they have promised that education will figure as 6% allocation in the budget. Well, it's been said for a long time, it hasn't yet happened. Again, radical restructuring of undergraduate education from the 3-year course to 3 or 4 years. And correspondingly, if you've done a 3-year course, you will have to do a 2 years master's. If you've done a 4-year course, you will have to do a 1-year master's course. Now, semester system and credit-based courses. Not everywhere do we have semester system, and credits are only in name. They have, teachers don't understand them. The mode of, as of today, the mode of evaluation is all very difficult. But they are saying, and rightly so, how they will achieve it, I don't know. Transfer of credits also from one institution to another, which is commonplace in abroad. But in India, it doesn't happen. Those of us who deal with education, we know the child has to repeat from first year again when they move. So transfer of credits, and they are talking about creating a credit bank, a digital credit bank, which means you can, whatever credits you have earned, you can put into that bank. You can take gaps in your education, you can come back to it, and then start from the point where you left off. So if undergraduate education, for example, wants 120 credits to be completed, you have done only 70, you've taken a break. When you come back, you can complete your 50. But again, the details need to be worked out, because how long after, if you come back after 10 years, all that you have learned may be forgotten, or the courses may have changed drastically. So all this needs to be worked out. Now, at the undergraduate level, the honors courses will then have to go, as we understand it, because they are saying no early specialization. And it's really following the American system that you have a foundation and then you keep on earning your credits and then you do major and minor and all of that. So all undergraduate courses will have to be application based, and vocational will be integrated into the undergraduate curriculum. Now, this is very good, but it has been tried. It has not succeeded. It has not succeeded because heads of colleges and heads of universities don't understand vocational education. And unless you integrate the industry with it, it cannot be done. And also, unless you can change the course quickly, because you can't keep teaching the same thing. Again, those of us who have been associated with universities know it takes forever to revise a course. So this cannot work. MPhil has been abolished. There will be no more MPhil. So people will get directly admission into PhD. There is emphasis on applied research, so that while research will be done in the universities, but it should have an application to real life problems. They have created, which is a good thing, a national research fund. So if you're a student or you're a teacher, you have a good idea, you can apply with your project proposal to the National Research Fund and you can get funded, open to both public and private. Now, all educational institutions have to be credited, whether they are accredited, whether they are public or private. And all higher education institutions are required to put up their vision on the website. all higher education institutions are to be given autonomy gradually. Now, this has always led to a huge contention. Teachers really don't want autonomy, but without autonomy, you cannot change courses and you cannot go more up to date. Again, this is going to be very contentious because they want higher education institutions in local languages to be set up. Now, it may be a good thing for some, but again, the divide between English speaking and you need teachers for it, you need books for it. Right now, we are not prepared. So this was going to be a problem and we will need to address that problem. Increase the use of digital technology, the problem will be the same because we are trying to use artificial intelligence, customized courses. You have no connectivity, you have remote corners, and you want to make access to education possible in every district of the country. How? Open and distance learning. They want, that is, the old thing of correspondence courses, except in the digital mode, open learning. But their quality is so poor at the moment. So all these universities, it's actually a big racket because once you set up a course, you can go on charging fee for it and people will keep taking it. You don't have to do any further preparation. And so the quality is very poor. And plus in India, we have a very funny thing. We have a territorial jurisdiction of open and distance learning. So the university or a college of one state cannot offer its open learning courses in another state. Now that defeats the very purpose of open learning because it should be available to everybody. They want to set up a gender inclusion fund so that women get equal opportunities and get quality education. Plus, they have added transgenders, which I think is a very progressive thing. Up to now, transgenders were not, nobody bothered about them. The emphasis is not on specialization, but on multidisciplinary learning and on interdisciplinary learning. And so they have said that all higher education institutions must be multidisciplinary. So you hear now, those of you who follow education news, IITs trying to set up medical schools and humanities schools and other schools because it covers everybody. Everyone has to be multidisciplinary. Now, the way we have grown, I don't know whether how good or bad those other institutions that these IITs, etc., set up will be. Another good thing is that fine arts and performing arts are going to be brought into the mainstream, which might be a good thing for more research and better understanding of our fine arts and performing arts. Now, a radical thing is Lok Nritya. I think it's a very good thing. For a long time, I've been advocating this, and that is our traditional knowledge systems. Actually, it is wrong to call them traditional knowledge systems. They are really people's knowledge systems. Because even today, most people live by their own knowledge systems. They don't live by the westernized education that we get. And it is the tribals actually who preserve the forest and the diversity of grains and our flora, fauna, and all this. So even their tribal medicine and some egalitarian values and all these are good things. Now, they have also said book promotion has to take place. So more book printing and publishing will be recognized as a small scale industry, which means that you can get the normal kind of advantages that a small scale industry has, so that you can get affordable quality books at affordable quality books. Now, the foreign universities, once again, Kapil Sibbal's idea has come in, foreign universities to be allowed to set up campuses. The same problems will happen. You say that you will allow it to top 100. Now, which top 100 actually want to set up an institution here? And if you again go around trying to do affirmative action, that is quotas and reservations, and you want to monitor their fee and all of that, it will become problematic. So I don't know how many of these foreign institutions will actually risk it. Then they have also emphasized internationalization of higher education by offering further emphasizing courses on Indian heritage, performing arts, philosophy, comparative religion, which is all which fascinates people coming from abroad. New language institutions have to be set up to promote regional language. For this, they want to set up an Indian Institute of Translation and Interpretation. Now, the use of digital technology in order to do translations, because we have so many languages from one to the other, will also be used. Now, translation will of course be a good thing, because we don't have access to a lot of very, very good literature and know-how in various regional languages. And so if we can get access in English or whatever is the regional language that we are familiar with, it might be a good thing. They also want to set up a national institution for Pali, Prakrit, and Persian. So now, interesting thing is they want the teachers to mentor students. This has been going on for some time, but teachers find it very hard to mentor students. They are not trained to do so. And of course, they do academic mentoring wherever possible, but emotional, psychological mentoring is a different cup of tea. And it's very hard with the complexities of current life to actually go into issues of drug abuse and alcoholism and torn families, split families, and all of those things. So that they have said that everybody will have to have therapists and counselors, and for that an adequate infrastructure should be available right from school, right up to higher education. And so mental health professionals, but you need to produce them. Anyone who has tried to hire a counselor will know. I tried to do it in South Asian University. It's impossible to get good counselors. And bad counseling is worse than no counseling. So you actually need to have proper counseling. And then completely changing the regulatory structure of higher education, because they do away with AICTE, All India Council of Technical Education, do away with that, do away with National Council of Teacher Education, do away with the University Grants Commission, do away with the National Assessment and Accreditation centers, only have one single regulatory body, which will be the National Higher Education Commission. And all these bodies will be there, but in this National Higher Education Commission, the first year will be the National Higher Education Regulatory Council. And so this will be a single point regulator, which will regulate all the different education except agriculture, law, medicine, that has been left out of it. So it will have 4 verticals, the National Higher Education Commission. One is what I told you, the National Higher Education Council, Regulatory Council. The second vertical will be the National Accreditation Council to do the accreditation. I don't know how they're going to independence of Accreditation Council if they merge it into the National Higher Education Council, because it's very important to have independent accreditation and not be a part of the government National Higher Education Commission. Then they will have a Higher Education Grants Council, which will be, UGC will be replaced by this. And then there will be a General Education Council, which will monitor all the outcomes in different institutions, and which will also describe to the world that our degrees mean what in terms of equivalence to others, because the others must be able to follow what you are giving to the student, what is it that you are imparting, what is the curriculum, what is the outcome, and where does it equate with whatever others are doing. And you need to know also what the others are doing and how does it fit into your system of doing things. So this in a nutshell, very quick nutshell, that I have given you the major bullet points of the national education policy. Now questions, discussion, if any.
Okay, I have a few questions, Kavita. Sorry to jump in.
No,
thank you first for a fascinating talk. Number one, you mentioned that school education now will be conducted through 4 phases.
Yeah.
Right?
5 plus
what
2
about
plus 4.
Yeah, what about the examination system? Like currently you have the higher secondary, CBSE. Do those standards change? I mean, is there a new,
Well,
going to
I
be a new
wish they
system?
would, Deepak, because those boards have made the mess of our lives.
Huh.
But they haven't. They've said they'll retain the boards.
But they'll retain the boards. Okay, except that they'll
What
fit
will
in-
happen? You know what is going to happen now that you've raised the question. I didn't want to go into the details. You know, instead of softening the exam system, actually it will get strengthened. Because after the 5 years, that is 3 years of preschool and 2 years of class 1 and 2, you will take an exam. Right?
Yeah.
And then you will take an exam after 3 years after that, and then 3 years after. So you might end up, you know, having mini boards at the end of 5 years, 3 years, and then of course your normal boards.
I see. I presume that variants like the IB, the International Baccalaureate, and Cambridge and the A level, they'll stay.
They'll all
continue to
stay.
be off. They'll
No,
stay.
they'll all stay.
All right. Okay. My second question is, and this is something which really concerns me. In what language will most of higher education, that is college education, be imparted?
See, they have said that we should have, let this remain as it is, but we should have more and more, or not more and more, we don't have them, but we should have higher education institutions in the local language.
But do
If
you
you
have?
are in Tamil Nadu, you will have a Tamil, you know, higher education in Tamil, and if you're in Bengal, I find that very problematic.
I think that's amazing. The books on economics have been written by Western authors, physics, chemistry, mathematics. All this stuff is, has been absorbed from the Western world. It's all in English. Who's
That's
going to
what I'm
translate
saying.
all this?
So how will you do this massive amounts of translation? And you know, the massive, it's not in higher education, it's not just books, it's also articles.
Correct.
Now, Japan just does constant translation, as you well know. But then, you know what happens? People's English becomes weak. And so their competitiveness, I mean, we like it or we don't like it, English is the lingua franca of the world.
Absolutely. And it's a language of business, more important.
I mean, courts, business, official work, how do you communicate like this? And I don't know how this will happen, because you know, the divide among people, this is what I was trying to say, those who study in the lingua, in the language, local language, and those who study in English, the divide will become sharper.
Accentuate. It will accentuate.
It will
Absolutely.
accentuate, and it will go to the more privileged, will go into all kinds of, you know, venues of employment, whereas the others will not be able to do that. You know?
That's scary. Yes.
That's a little scary to
And
me.
the third, yeah. And the third, it's more an observation. You mentioned that institutions of higher education become multidisciplinary.
Yeah.
And you gave the example of IIT setting up something. But aren't most of them already multidisciplinary, in the sense that Hindu College, for example, offers arts and science and pre-med?
But Sri Ram College of Commerce doesn't.
Those will need to broad base their offerings.
Everyone who's a niche institution
will broad base it.
Now, I don't know if it yeah.
That's going to dilute standards enormously.
Yeah, because you know, you've developed over 70 years your core competence area.
Correct.
And now to suddenly be told that you have to put in this also, and this also, and this also, A, teachers, B, you know, the whole environment in that institution.
Start a department of engineering or something of that kind. That's ridiculous.
So
thanks, Kavita.
yeah. Anybody else?
Yeah,
Amina?
Kavita.
Yeah.
Kavita, how is it that in Germany and all, when they're teaching in German, how do they keep up with foreign articles and things like that? In universities, the medium of education is totally in German. But how do they keep up with the international articles or whatever else comes out?
But Amita, the way I understand it is that they have not been subjugated to a colonial regime for so long.
Okay.
So over the years, they have built up their own textbooks, their own literature, their own articles.
Okay.
So they teach through that. And if anybody else wants it, they can always, they can always, because they are studying English, they're just not fluent in speaking it. So they can go to it.
Okay.
Since they have not been part of the subjugated country, ab hamare yahan to we don't have that kind of literature. Can you imagine in economics, in science, in Tamil, in Hindi, in Punjabi? I mean, where do you have it?
Not possible.
And-
I
That
could,
is-
And
I could-
German
multi-language.
is also an international language.
yeah, and I could add to that, Germany historically has been a center of academic excellence.
Right.
It was a center of great scholarship back in the 18th and 19th century.
Yeah.
Oh yes, engineering,
Yeah.
science, a lot of technology, lots of
Exactly.
philosophy.
Yeah.
Hegel, all these people came from Germany,
Yeah. And it's all in their own language.
all in their own language.
So it's not
It is,
like
in fact,
us.
the
We have
British-
just taken everything from English.
That's correct.
And they are
You
not multilingual.
And
of
then
course.
everybody, since German is one of the international languages.
Yeah.
Can I add something? I was
Yes.
lucky. I did my engineering in Germany.
Right.
I went in the late 60s,
Yeah.
and that time English was an almost unknown commodity.
Yeah.
Correct.
Very few people spoke
Yeah.
English. The entire the engineering course was done in the German language itself.
Right.
But now when I go now, I think more than 50% people speak English.
That's right.
They've been exposed to it. And some of the courses, they have dual language. You can have an
Yeah.
option, you can study in German language or in the English language.
Which
They've
is a
already
recent
started.
development. It's a recent development.
No, this happened, my son
10
went
years,
in 2003.
10 years,
Yeah.
15 years.
That time, he did it in German, but that time there was an option he could study either in the English language or the German language. They're
But-
opening up very, very quickly and scientifically.
It's because of this only, no? Because they understand, everybody understands, right or wrong, it may hurt your national pride or whatever it is, but English is the international lingua franca.
Yeah.
So everybody wants to be fluent in English, whatever you study in. And they have
That's
tons
right.
of,
They were adopted, they've accepted this it's a reality, they've accepted it.
yeah.
Kavita ma'am, I wanted to ask that, is there any reform on the way these the board exams and all going to take place? Because everybody seems to get 100%,
I know.
and with the result that there is such a problem. I mean, like this year, the cutoff was 100%.
100%. No, this has become a national scandal. The boards have become a national scandal, but here they have done nothing about the boards. Because it has to be looked into. You can't be giving, you have raised the, you've raised the self, this thing that I am 100%er, but you are not really. If you look at those students and you really make them do some work, they are not that great. We are actually harming our children rather than apart from the stress we are putting on them, but we are really harming them.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. Uh-huh.
The
And
kind
then,
of,
I mean, if they're going to examine everything on an objective.
I know, then you will get your 100% or kya?
Yes. So where is all that thing about expressing yourself through essays and compositions and presses
Exactly.
and
And building up an argument, as you well know, you come
Yes.
to college, you are told, write at least 3 pages of something, no?
Yes.
And they can't write even a full page of anything.
Absolutely. Hmm.
So, and all this, that's why I said it's a great policy. We are very good at making policies. How do you implement this? It's all right to say critical thinking and analytical thinking. No, these are words. But as long as your evaluation doesn't change, as long as your access doesn't change, these will remain words.
Hmm.
All innovation in our school stops in class 8.
Hmm.
Because after that, everyone gets geared to 10th and 12th.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what's going to happen here also, unless the boards go through a substantial change.
Hmm.
Actually, they should be made to wither away.
Yeah. And one more thing I wanted to ask was that in the policy, the new policy, which are, I mean, like, what are the best practices that have been taken from which country? I mean, which country? Yeah.
From no country. They have, what they did was they sent out questionnaires all over the place, from village panchayats to professionals and this, that. And I'm told they got 2.5 lakh responses. And then they sorted them out. And then, I mean, whatever that core committee was, sat and looked at it. And it seems to me a lot of America here. You know, I did ask at a question at a conference. I said, when 4-year course was introduced, there was such a hue and cry. And Dinesh Singh, our vice chancellor, got almost chucked out for it. Now you've brought it in yourself. So you've lost 6 years. And this, you know, it was just by administrative order from 3 to 4 to 4 to 3. I mean, this is. So who is to say that the next government will come and say, they've said 3 or 4, they may again revert it back to 3.
Yeah.
So these poor children, you know, they get subjected to the whims and fancies of, or ideology, or whatever you want to call it, of the government in power. That is what happens. In fact, I called up Dinesh and I said, congratulations, you have finally been, you know, he said, yeah, but it's not a question of my getting validated. It's a question of 6 years gone.
Yeah.
By which time this whole thing, which was amorphous, would have become a better thing. Huh? So,
Very true.
ye jab tak, I mean, I'll tell you one example. I'm a chair of a government, you know, a college which is funded by Delhi government. My God, you've seen what's happening. Nobody is being paid salaries because of the politics. Everyone is in court. And tomorrow I told you I have to go for a meeting. That principal is begging me, another Delhi government college. The union has already written they haven't been paid for 4 months. And she's begging me that I don't want an Aam Aadmi Party to become the chairman. Please come and chair the election. I said, yeah, from Noida to Bhavana. She said, no, please, please. So I said, okay, acha, chalo, I'll help you out. No? So, you know, this politics, bureaucracy, and we know it all. The rest of you are just fools, no?
Kavita, would you?
No, they have to have some academicians now, you know.
उनकी तो कोई सुनता ही नहीं है ना.
वो तो सुनेंगे भी नहीं ना, वो सुनेंगे क्यों? They have to prove they are the best.
Academic administration is very different from normal administration. We don't even have a course in academic administration. We just push people into principalships and vice chancellorships. The guy doesn't know audit kya hota hai, tender kya hota hai, or you know, courses kaise lagte hain. Usko kuch pata hi nahi hai. That person has been. You need a. They say you need a top-rate academician, but a top-rate academician is sitting in his lab or in his library. He doesn't get. So you need education administration, not just an educator.
Yeah.
Actually, the problem also is that, you know, all over the world elsewhere where, you know, education is important, the teachers and the lecturers, they also are educated regularly.
Yes.
Here एक बार MA करके M.Ed कर लिया, उसके बाद ऐसे हम तो पढ़ेंगे कुछ नहीं, जो पढ़ा था वही पढ़ाई जाएंगे.
नहीं, but they are supposed to do. I've just done an induction course for JNU, you know, teachers.
Okay.
But you know, they only do it to earn their increments.
Exactly.
So and so what the UGC ends up doing, 2 orientation courses, 1 refresher course, 1 academic staff college. Everybody goes and just does it because my next increment depends on it.
Exactly.
So you know what?
Interest bhi nahi hai. There's no interest.
There's no interest.
No, and Amita, I feel as long as they don't make the higher education expensive. You see, higher education is so subsidized. I mean, like, I remember, like, ma'am, in our time, 18 rupees used to be the college fees.
Yeah.
Sunita, wohi hai. It has not
अभी भी वही
changed.
चल रहा है,
वही चल
18
रहा
के
है.
20 हो गए होंगे.
नहीं, it's the same.
Yeah.
So,
But you know, actually, no, education need not be expensive.
no, higher
The rest-
education, Amita, I think.
even higher up to a certain level. See, all over the world, they are free education for people who want to study. The point is, it should become more difficult to get into it. Everybody shouldn't say कि हम सारे BA कर रहे हैं, सारे MA कर रहे हैं.
No,
There
the
has to
other,
be-
yeah, sorry. The other thing is which we miss out on. Everyone can't keep coming to Delhi University. Okay?
Exactly.
We had very good educational centers earlier. Allahabad was a very good center. Banaras was a great center. Huh?
Yes.
Tamil Nadu was a great center. Madras University was a name. The West Bengal, you had very good education. Now you have made all the regional centers into nonsense. So therefore,
Precisely.
you know, Patna University used to be a great university. Agra University, I mean, Motilal Nehru and all of these all studied there only. Punjab University was a great university. Now, where are all these universities? And the region does not provide the opportunities, neither the know-how. This BA karne ke baad, what shall you do?
Precisely.
You know?
Kavita, you're talking about this gross enrollment ratio moving up to 50%. Did I hear you right?
That's right.
No,
From
what does this
26%
mean?
to... No, it means
this
that if
mean
you have come out of class 12, you are entitled to higher education, right? So if you have
Correct.
come out of class 12, then at least 50% of those who come out of class 12 should be able to get into a college. So they have said it means creating 3.5 crores of more seats in higher education by 2035.
Okay.
3.5 crores is a mind-boggling thing, huh? So where will you get teachers? Where will you get facilities? So everybody keeps saying, "Hum digital karenge." But can we replace the teacher by digital, and that too in your country where the rest of the infrastructure is so poor?
Can I ask you a question? Would you at random know
Yeah.
what is the gross enrollment ratio for higher education in, say, half a dozen developed economies?
Yeah, a mid-level economy is supposed to have about 30% because higher
30%.
education and economy now are linked, right? So about 30% is the average, in a mid-level economy. In a good developed economy, it is 50 to goes up to even about 70%. Because, like in US, you have community colleges, no? They
Right.
also come into that higher education because you
Right.
can do lateral entry into an academic stream also. And the
Right.
community college also teaches you the academic stream, right?
Right.
But yahan pe, to shove in a vocational subject at the BA level, I personally don't think it's going to help very much. The teachers don't know how to teach vocational. The principals and vice chancellors have no clue to vocational. And we have not developed any linkages with any vocation or profession in our university system.
Basically,
And
they
our
should tie up
system,
vocational with vocational with industry. So
they
that
should, yeah.
they should, that is the only way that vocational can, progress.
Which means you can't take 30 years to change your syllabus, no? That vocation is gone and finished and done and over.
Precisely. Precisely.
So you need 30 years to change your syllabus. You have no contact with industry. You don't want to induct them on your boards because you say, "Oh, ye business to sab chor hain. Inko nahi rakhenge."
Exactly.
So phir
Exactly.
you don't want to put pharmaceuticals on your board, then why are you teaching botany and zoology or biochemistry for that matter?
Very
So
preconceived notions, na? The
preconceived notions. See, when I was doing my master's in law, in the law faculty, it was very porous. Many of our teachers actually were in think tanks of the government who were advising the government, actually advising the government. And many of those fellows used to come and teach us. You know, those who were not teachers, but they would come and teach us. The same was true of industry. You know, there was a porous thing that a theoretician went to an application place and an application person came to the theory place, so that
Yeah.
both got a feel of each other. You know,
Important, very important.
but वो हम नहीं करेंगे ना.
Actually,
The
unfortunately,
US's great scientific advance and technological development has emerged primarily as a result of the military-industrial academic
That's right.
relationship.
That's right.
Vannevar Bush, you know, very famous name, the man responsible for this,
Yeah.
actually persuaded governments, you know, about 70
Yeah.
years ago. And this is how they took the great leap forward.
That's
The
right.
US.
Well,
Anyway,
Japan also has a big linkage. You know, if you want to
Absolutely.
see from the ruins of the Second World War to now, they pushed education and they made all these tie-ups between different sectors in your economy to be able to do what they do.
exactly.
You know, now you ask our average engineering graduate, उसको ये नहीं समझ आता कि electric circuit कहाँ जा रहा है, क्या हो रहा है.
समझ ही नहीं उसको, प्रोफेसर को नहीं आता,
उसको
टीचर
नहीं
को
आता ना.
Exactly.
He'll make you a perfect diagram, but you ask him कि ये रहा box तुम्हारा, इसको बताओ कहाँ जा रहा है. He can't tell you.
I remember we had an engineer from IIT.
हाँ.
And I remember there was some talk we were sitting and talking about. He said, "Ma'am, vernier caliper तो अब कौन use करता है?" मैंने कहा वो तो basic सिखाते हैं. Even I know. Even I studied as a
Even I
science
studied the
student. I
vernier.
knew it.
We all studied.
Exactly. But this guy didn't have a clue about it. He said, "वो तो भूल भाल गए अभी कुछ आता ही नहीं है." What sort of an engineer are you then?
You know, I was in San Diego once, and they said even your IITs, we have to retrain them to be able to use their knowledge in real life situations.
Yeah.
Because they have no clue. They have never worked in real life situations.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Very
Oh.
bookish knowledge.
very bookish knowledge. And now digitization,
They
everything
live in
will
this-
appear on your computer screen.
No, and they live in this dream world that I am from IIT, so I am going to lead the world, you know.
Yes, yes.
I feel there is no knowledge required. Everything is on Google, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
everybody's just. In any case, everybody is always on Google. You know.
Yes. So
That's true.
yeah. Anyway, so this is where we are. And
But at least it's slightly futuristic. Okay,
it is future. As I said, it's a very good document.
I think so.
It's a
And
very good document.
My compliments to whoever made it out. At least the dream is good.
The dream
you
is very
start-
good.
When you dream, then, you know, when you start working on the dream, maybe you'll reach 50%.
Yeah.
कुछ कहीं तो पहुंचोगे ना?
No, as I said, if you show the political will,
Yeah,
you will make it.
exactly.
Now, yes,
Exactly.
now you have done demonetization on political will, and you have done Article 370 on political will, and you have
Precisely.
enacted the farm laws on political will. So now show the will to reform education.
Exactly, exactly.
But nobody wants to show that if you have a good roadmap, a timeline, the political will to go with it, you can achieve at least 50%. Otherwise, it's a very good document. We can all read it. We still read Kothari Commission, and we still read the Rajiv Gandhi's
And
policy.
Kavita, I'm very hopeful, but at least we have a good document. Till now, we didn't even have a good document.
Kavita, would you share that with us? Would you put it on the group, please? Would you put it on the email? I'm sure you have the 70-page policy document with you.
I have it.
Please dal dijiye on email.
It's on the, actually, I can do it, but it's there on
You
the.
Google it now. Everything
on
is on
Google.
Google.
It's all there.
It's
It's all there? Okay,
Huh.
I'll look at it, yeah.
It's all
As
there. You can
Sunita
even
says-
download your 500-page document for that
Oh, no,
matter.
no. I'll do the 70 page.
I-
yeah.
I
I don't want
have-
the draft.
I have read through that 500 pages also. And then I went to a meeting and I said,
पुराना क्या पढ़ना है, वो नया पढ़ेंगे ना, वो तो that's
Is-
past.
Is there
Really?
any form of a roadmap in that document? Anything in terms of timeline,
नहीं है,
sequence,
नहीं है,
people,
नहीं है.
budget, accountability? Nothing.
nahin,
Nothing.
nahin, nahin. So
It's just a
in
vision.
fact, now somebody said to me that they are going to make it, but if they're going to launch it in 2021, then they better come up and make it.
Yeah.
Because it's such radical changes you are proposing here. So then you will need to make and you have to prepare the ground now. It's not like the farmers think now 70% of this country is affected by them, but you haven't talked to anybody now. That is the main issue, I think.
Kavita,
Apart from the clause by
can
clause
you all-
thing.
Kavita, can you all not make a group where you could be guiding, maybe
कविता मैंने तो कर लिया, मैं बहुत कर लिया, अब मेरे से नहीं होता. I
नहीं,
go
नहीं,
on.
ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है?
अब नहीं करती मैं.
जो कर सकता है वो एडवाइस तो दे सकता है ना, देना चाहिए.
वो पूछते ही कोई नहीं है, उनको तो वही चाहिए जो उनको सुनना है.
हाँ.
That's the
एक
problem.
ग्रुप बनाओ. आप एक ग्रुप बनाओ.
You know, they just want to hear what they want to hear. That's it.
That's unfortunate. Unfortunate.
Nobody wants to hear the real truth, no? And the problem is, if you want to retain your jobs, you must parrot what they want to hear.
Actually, baat sahi hai. You're right.
Yeah. Right.
You know, if you don't parrot what they want to hear, nobody will ask you to come also again, na?
ये भी सही है.
वो कहते हैं कि तुम तो भैया you are not happy with anything, तो तुम जाओ फिर. हमको 4 लोग मिले तो हैं who are so happy with us. हम उनसे पूछेंगे.
अच्छा.
You know, if you tell them कि भाई higher education आप सब regional language में करोगे तो मुश्किल हो जाएगी, तो they will say कि आपको national pride नहीं है. They will say कि जापान करता है कि नहीं, जर्मनी करता है कि नहीं, तो हम क्यों ना करें? करो. Figure it out also.
एक ही लैंग्वेज है ना, इधर तो कितनी रीजनल लैंग्वेजेस है.
अब वो नहीं मानते यार.
Very sad.
Very true.
26 languages on your constitution. How can you? I don't understand this, really speaking. And
Sad.
what a divide it will be. You know, ये private universities में हमारे बच्चे तो वहीं जाके सब पढ़ लेंगे.
हाँ.
Or they are going abroad, right?
These private universities are like tuck shops. I'm sorry to say that. Very
Huh?
few of them are good.
No, but they will become good, no? When you are demanding, they'll become good.
No, their demands are there. How much they're going to give it to you in return? That's
No, what I'm saying is that they are bound to see if our children go, we will also post it on their heads and say, ye karo, wo karo, na.
And
After all,
कितने colleges खुल गए? How many of them are good?
no,
It's
because
like
they're not good, na. So market forces work, they close down. But South, you know, let me tell you, today, the reality of private education is that almost 100% of management education is in private hands. Okay? About 70% of legal education is in private hands. 50% of medical education today is in private hands. You just have to go down south and you will see plenty of them.
Yeah.
You know, engineering education, 70 to 80% is in private.
how good are they? That's a big question. How good are they?
Many of them are not bad. I have been on committees.
Some are good. Some are
Very good. Some are very
Just
good.
a handful of them. Just a handful of them.
No,
Rest
no, there's a lot of them. Why do you think South has progressed so much?
South is different, but I'm talking about this part, northern.
You have to develop it. Yeah, you can't divide the country into north and south. You know, there are studies, and maybe Deepak, who does a lot of strategic study, will know this. There already are studies that north drags us down. Why don't we see?
Correct.
There already are studies.
Correct. If the South succeeded from India, we'd be back to being a third world country.
Yeah. There are already studies to this effect which have been discussed and which is very scary. So, and the problem with North Indians is also, I'm part of North India, we think no end of ourselves.
True, fully agree.
वो चंदन लगा के आया जी, वो तो क्या तहमत पहन के आ गया, वो तो भैया है, whatever we call them, you know, मुंडू है और फलाना है. You know,
But the
they
brains are down south, whatever you may say.
no brains are up here. We only use it in crooked purposes and for our ego boosting. There is no
Exactly.
lack of brains in the north.
There's no lack of brains. There's no lack of
Bihar
brains.
is full of brainy people.
Yeah. You will know, Sunita, that in Hindu college, but for the Biharis, we would really actually topple down. All the cultural activities and debating activities are all done by Biharis.
I know that is why they all land up in the IAS and all
Yeah.
the civil services. Sab
Civil
Bihari.
services, Bihar, you know. So there's no lack of brains. It's our egos.
I remember they used to call them Harrys, no?
I know, Harry. Boy,
Yeah.
but we are even worse about the South Indians, na? Because they put on their chandan and they wear their chappals and they wear their tehmats and they walk around. And we say, Arey, ye to-" but he might be a very good scientist, you know.
Yeah.
Many of them are really
Yes.
good scientists.
We've got the best brains from south, whatever you may say.
No, they are not the best brains. They have
They're
the
not
most
the best.
opportunities.
They're good brains, but हमारे भी हैं up north. But it's just that we have this misguided sense of superiority.
Rajni, you're talking to education. Okay, so many engineering colleges closed down in the south, right?
Mhm.
Why did they close down? I have done that analysis with my colleagues. They closed down because they were not giving to the student value for money.
Okay.
So they
I would
closed
be-
down. You know, because who's going to pay you 60,000, 70,000 rupees if you are not going to get anything in return? But as my previous boss, Professor M.G.K. Menon used to say to me, कविता वो नासिक में प्रिंटिंग प्रेस है नोट छापने की वो छाप के यूनिवर्सिटी में भेजे जा रहे हैं. So everybody is getting their salary and they are being educated at 18 rupees a month. Why should they bother about you? You know, now when you go to a Jindal, you better do something about yourself. Or you go to Ashoka, you better
Top
do
class.
something. Or you go to Narsimonji or whatever, you know, you better do something about yourself.
That
So
is
you
what I
Go to
was saying.
XLRI.
Na? That
So
is
if
what
you-
I was saying. Yeah.
If you have a lot of these institutions, many will just crumble because they are not able to deliver. But in public sector, nothing crumbles.
Bilkul.
There is security of jobs, security of salary, security of promotion. आजकल देखो ना दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी में रोज के 10 प्रमोशन हो रहे होंगे in every college.
But our problem is our population, Kavita.
Huh?
We need these government colleges and all. They're prospering because our population is bursting at seams.
So it is in south. It's not as if it's bursting in the north only.
No, all over India. I'm talking about.
So
all
they are not, you know, they are doing fine. I have been on committees there. You know what happens there? In the same, let's say it's a 10-acre lot. You have what they call 1,000 UGC students to put themselves into public sector. And in the same campus, they have 3,000 students in the private sector. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. And so when you go to, and all government, everybody knows about this. You go to evaluate them. You go to evaluate those 1,000 students and their library because UGC sends you to evaluate that college. But that college is paying, let's say, 50,000 to its lecturer. The private college is paying 20,000. Okay, in the same campus. The private guy is working far more. All the complaints I used to get were from the Sarkari fellows. To the point they said, we will not allow those fellows to use our library. I said, how crazy can that get? You're using their money to make roads inside your campus. Why can't you? Yeah, they use the money. they use the money. You ask me one day, I will tell you all kinds of kahanis that I have come across because of traveling all over this country, evaluating colleges and universities.
with you and learn all these things, really.
I went to Jhansi, I'll tell you, I went to Jhansi, the college had applied, so-called girls' college. If the girls' colleges ke naam pe the rackets that are going on. So-called girls' college had applied, now we need to get aid. So I said, okay. I went there with 2 more people who said कि आप ही चले जाओ. You ask too many questions. हम तो यहीं घर में यहीं पे बैठ के खाना वाना खाएंगे. I said, okay, I went. It was just a school. Yeah, nobody used to go with me. So I would just go because I was very keenly interested in what's going on. So I went and it was like a school. I said, "Bhai, ye to school hai. Where's your college?" They said, "Hai na, aapko leke chalte hain." So they took me to a place where there was a woman sitting there. So many bangles, glittering gold bangles with a jump sari. She's sitting there. And opposite her was a gentleman who said, "I'm the treasurer of the governing body." मैंने कहा, "ये principal is sitting in this chair and the treasurer is sitting opposite. ये कैसे हो सकता है?" I said, "Okay, what is your subject?" वो home science. I said, "Okay, let's go to your lab." हमारी खाना पकाने की lab तो है नहीं. First they said, "आपको क्या चाहिए?" I said, "हमको कुछ नहीं चाहिए भाई." You know, I just want to see your lab. So they said, "खाना पकाने की तो है नहीं." So I said, "How do you do it?" हम टेंट वाले को बुलाते हैं 15 days before the exam.
Oh my God.
Yes. तो इंटीरियर डेकोरेशन की एक लैब है, आपको वो दिखा देते हैं. I said, "Okay, let's go there." It was nothing. It's like your drawing room with 2 sofas in it. So I said, "Well, what's the lab in it?" "No, this is the decoration the girls have done." You know, that place did not exist. This was a fraud principal sitting there. She does not exist as a principal. And they wanted to get aid because this was a private society. You know? So I said, "What about your land papers? In whose name are they?" Invariably, I have found land papers are in the name of the society so that they can close it down and turn it into a restaurant or a hotel or whatever else, you know, they want to. Rest house.
Such a shame.
I mean, if you don't want to hear policy, I can tell you lots of tales. It's amazing.
I think we should have a separate talk for the tales.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear them. I'd love to hear them.
अरे वाइस चांसलर की बोली लगती है यार. He's being auctioned off. Yeah. That if so many crores to become the vice chancellor of this place.
Oh my God.
And who pays for it? It's the contractors, different contractors. Why do you think so many vice chancellors get caught in financial mismanagement? Because those contractors have paid the politician.
Okay.
And then they want the same contracts to be given to them. How else will they make the money? And that's where the tenders and everything gets fudged.
Kavita, I'm sorry
Very
to interrupt,
true.
but अगर आपको अच्छी पोस्टिंग चाहिए, आप पुलिस में हो, ये चौकी चाहिए, तो आपको
हाँ, तो भाई, but really, you know, Rajni, we are not police thanas, na? We are supposed to be education.
हर कहीं बोली लग रही है आजकल, हर कहीं बोली लग रही है.
हर चीज में बोली लगती है.
That's true.
It's very sad, really.
Yeah. But anyway, उनमें से बोली लगा लगू के भी जो अच्छा पढ़ा देते हैं, तो students are happy कि तुम बोली लगाओ जो करो, but at least teach us.
कम से कम पढ़ा तो दो.
हाँ, उसके बाद जो नहीं पढ़ा पाते वो बंद हो जाते हैं.
Okay.
You know, but the most interesting I find is that you have 1,000 student UGC college and you have a 3,000 student within the same campus.
Incredible. Incredible.
Class knitting their cardigans and all.
हाँ?
बहुत से स्कूलों में टीचरें कार्डिगन knit कर रही होती हैं क्लास में.
हाँ, of course. अभी आपकी डिजिटल आ जाएगी तो बिल्कुल वो पूरे कोट knit कर रही हैं.
तो अभी भी ऑनलाइन में they are cooking away and you know.
और क्या? So it's all on the screen. Why bother?
Sachi.
Chalo. Anyway,
Very interesting.
Yeah, thank you. I have lots of tales. I have been to so many of them. एक बोला कि मेरे तो लाइब्रेरी है. मैंने कहा दिखाइए लाइब्रेरी. नहीं, पहले आप खाना खा लीजिए. I said यार लाइब्रेरी देखने में कितना टाइम लगता है. आप खाना लगवाइए, हम लाइब्रेरी देख के आते हैं. Then we went there and he says इसका तो चाबी गुम हो गई है. So I said चाबी गुम हो गई है. So आप ताला तोड़ दीजिए इसका. This is our Hindi speaking belt. No, that's why I'm speaking in Hindi. That's how the conversation goes. तो आप ताला तोड़ दीजिए. नहीं, फिर वो तो पुलिस वाले और ये हमारे ऐसे नहीं, 2 एम्प्लॉइज को आप खड़ा करिए, विटनेस करिए कि थिंग वाज लॉस्ट एंड देयरफॉर वी हैव हैड टू ब्रेक द लॉ. So miraculously, somebody comes running when they find a committee member is very determined. Someone comes running, "Nahi, nahi ji, mil gayi chabi. Okay, open it." Why did I look at the library? First year his expenditure was 30 lakhs. The next year his expenditure was only 1 lakh. I said, library expenses increase, not decrease. How did you arrive at such a, So he says, because I bought Encyclopedia Britannica that was in my office in the first year. So, and in subsequent years, his thing was full of punjis.
Full of what?
Punjis.
Guides.
Guides, yeah.
Oh.
And there was no
But
accession
the way
register.
you're
No
saying as
nothing.
if you never use them.
If you went to college, you knew what's a kunji.
Exactly.
You know what's a kunji. So I said,
I never used one, Sudhi. Huh?
I asked the principal, I said, "Aapne itni sari kunjiyan kyun rakhi hui hain? Where are the other books?" He said, "Hamare yahan aur kisi ko kuch nahi chahiye rehta." So we are supplying them.
Why did he want a kunji? Usko bhi nahi pata tha.
In another place, I went to chair a promotion committee. This guy says, I said, "You don't know anything of anything yet. So how can you be promoted?" So he says, finally he says, "आपको मालूम है मैं कहाँ से आया हूँ?" मैंने कहा, "हाँ, कहाँ से?" "कालपी से आया हूँ." तो I said, "Very good." "आपको मालूम है मैं कैसे आया हूँ?" "मुझे तो बोला गया मैं अपनी गाड़ी करो, हायर करो, प्रिंसिपल को लेके जाओ और तुम वहां एक्सपर्ट्स को ये पैसे देना है, मैं आपके लिए लिफाफा भी लाया." I said, "Are you nuts or what?" Yeah. And this was like a fish market. This was our North Indian University, public sector, very much public sector. Huge
my
hall,
God.
and there were tables everywhere, and each person was getting promoted per table. Yeah.
Oh
And
my God.
he says, "My PhD is on Keats." I said, "Good, what have you done?" "It was cut paste. Keats was born in such a year. He lived here. He died like this." I said, "But this is not what you're supposed to be writing." He says, "Wahan pe kitabein milti hain kya? Aap ye shukar manaiye, maine itna kar liya." So I said, "Acha, aapne to bahut acha kaam kiya." One girl told me ke, and this was a private college affiliated. You want to know private sector universities? Where's our friend Rajni? I'll tell you about it. In one university, Rajasthan University, which I went to recently, that university has 1,100 affiliated colleges. 1,100. And they are mostly private colleges which have been affiliated to Rajasthan University. The university's budget hardly ever comes. They are running their university, public sector university, on the affiliating fee and the examination fee coming from these private colleges. So this is the state of our public sector state universities. Anyway, there are lots of kahaniyan. So, if you,
Thank you. What a vast sea of knowledge you shared.
I swear, interesting, very interesting. The
Also
anecdotes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Chalo.
Okay.
Next time we have a session in person, I'll tell you lots of kahaniyan. Because
Well,
I
I
have
think
traveled
I'd
all
love
over
to
this
sit up.
country.
I'd love to sit through that.
Private education, public
special
education, semi-private, mujhe pucho.
So don't forget me. I love to be there.
Thanks. Chalo. Okay.
Amita ji, the formal vote of thanks, please, to our honored guest. Where's Amita?
Well,
Amita ji.
I'm very much here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Well, it's my pleasure to propose a vote of thanks to our very, very own eminent scholar,
Thank you.
Dr. Kavita Sharma. Eminent being the operative word.
Thank you.
She's been modest to the T about her considerable achievements. I'm so glad today that we have all been brought up to date on the wide range of her achievements. Well, the topic for today was education policy. Education really is the backbone of in shaping the future of a country or for any society. But honestly, most of us here were really only vaguely aware of the education policy, but totally unaware of the nitty-gritty and the problems involved. You, Kavita ji, have presented us with a clear picture. It seems a hopeful policy, thought-provoking, interesting, informative, and comprehensive.
Yeah.
But as you rightly point out, implementation is the challenge. Well, what came across today was the fact that you know your subject totally, and your experiences in the field really spoke through your talk.
Thank you.
On behalf of the club members, let me thank you for educating us, for
Thank-
making our meeting so meaningful and
Thank
so
you.
pleasant, so
Thank
very
you.
pleasant with your anecdotes.
Thank
Thank
you. My
Thank
pleasure.
you.
I had a great time. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kavita. That was
Thank-
lovely. Thank you,
Thank you.
Kavita.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Well, the meeting is adjourned. We have to stand up for the national anthem, please.
Okay.
Thank you all. Thanks a lot. Take care,
Thanks.
everybody. Thanks.
You too.
Stay safe. All the best.